Solid bag fishing, a great all year round tactic, and in particular one of my favourites in the winter months when you just want a small parcel of food out into the lake, quietly as possible, into the areas where the fish are holding out. So during this episode I'm going to show you my approach and my insights into how I tie my solid bags and why I think it's a great approach and a great tactic. So let's get into it. So this is my go-to solid bag approach, especially in the winter months. I like to use a mix of crumb and pellet. So this is the Edge pellet by Baitworks and some Atlantic heat blitzed in the blender. It's quite a fine crumb, a few little smaller little bits in there as well, that just adds a little bit of extra when that bag's actually broken down on the bottom of the lake. So what I tend to do is fish drop off inline system with this. I have a sort of 3.5 or 4 ounce flat pair, and I generally use a leader of some sort, either fluorocarbon, lead core, lead free, depending on the rules on the lake. And then I have a sort of 4 to 5 inch supple hook link. This one's the termite one. It's really important to make sure that is supple, because otherwise it won't sort of settle down in the bag itself properly and will stick up off the bottom of the lake bed when that bag breaks down. So yeah, really important that it's supple. And I've got a small hook bait, so this is one of the pineapple hells, perfect for bag fishing. So what I'll do is I'll show you how this all works first of all. So another key point here is that both the hook link and the leader material need to be tied to the actual ring itself on the swivel, leaving the swivel free to push into the bottom of the lead, and you have a tail rubber sitting on the leader. So what you do is you take the lead, push the swivel into the bottom of the lead itself, hold that in place, pass the leader material over the top of the lead, push the tail rubber down, and then you pull that tight. That sets that all in place, and you can then pick up the lead by both the hook link and the leader material without that ejecting initially. If a fish picks that up off the bottom of the lake, that will give that a little shake, and the swivel will pop out the lead, and it will either discharge the lead, or if the fish gets away with it, sometimes you're reeling and you'll find that the actual swivel's popped out the bottom of the lead, but your lead's still hanging on by the tail rubber at the top. So let's put that into the bag and show you how we tie them up. So what you do is you take a PVA bag. This one's a Baitworks one. They're perforated, absolutely brilliant during the winter months. Allow that water to penetrate into the bag a little bit quicker and melt down. So take a little bit of the mix. I'm probably putting about 1.5 inches maybe into the bottom of that bag. I then take the hook link and hook bait, pass it between my fingers to keep it tucked out of the way, and then I slide the lead down tight against the back of the bag. That's really important because we want the lead to stay out of the way. I'm then going to turn that around, and I'm going to move the hook link to one side as well. And then what I do is I put some more mix in. I want to sort of fill it up 2/3 of the way, about there. And then I take that hook bait and I pass that into the top of the bag on the opposite side to where I was holding it, and I pass that hook bait, gently tease it down through the bag, so it's about 2/3 of the way down, making sure the hook link material is not looped over itself. And then I top that bag up again, and then once that's pretty much about 1 inch from the top, I then hold the bag and I push firmly down on top of the mix. It is crumb and pellets, so it should compact down really well and tight together. I do that first, and then I give it a simple single twist, and then I pat the bottom of the bag as well, just to make sure that that's really compacted. I'll release it off again just to make sure any air can escape. Pinch the top. I'll twist that around a couple of times. Once you've twisted it around, you can then take some PVA tape. You wrap the tape around the bag, continuously moving downwards as you do it, and that will continue to tighten the bag up as you do that as well. And we tie that up. A couple overhand knots is enough to secure that in place. And then what we're then, you can see at that point, you've got your lead at the back of the bag there, clearly visible. At the front you've got the hook bait on the opposite side. So what we're going to do now is compact it down a little bit further still. So I like to shape the bag a little bit at this point, making sure it's aerodynamic, especially if I'm fishing on my way out into the lake. And what you do is you can really pull on them corners, lick the corner, hold it down in place and stick it. Just hold it there for sort of 3 or 4 seconds. And stuck that corner there, I'll then put the thumb over that whilst I work the other corner. Again, you can be pretty firm with these, really work that into place. Lick the other corner and then you hold that one down as well. So the bottom of the bag is now nicely stuck down. That's pretty much the bag pretty much sorted. Oh, that just popped off there. Sometimes when you work in the bag, the corners will pop off if they're not quite stuck down enough. It is really cold today. And then what we need to do is trim up the top of the bag. So I trim up one side, then I then pull the leader material out of the way. And then I trim down the other side. That leaves you with pretty much your finished product. So you've got your hook bait on that side and your lead on that side. Bag's absolutely solid. It's going to cast a long way, that one, if you needed to. And one of the key things as well about making sure that bag is solid is that it's then also going to sink much quicker, and it's going to travel more true in the flight of the cast as well, especially if the bag's well shaped. One last little bit though, what you do need to do is make sure you put a hole in the bag. It's important to put it near the hook bait. So I push the scissors in, make a good size hole there. That way, that's going to be the first place any air escapes from and where the water penetrates the bag. That tends to enable the bag to break open at the top and peel backwards, rather than if you've done the hole in the side or the back or not at all, then it will basically pop and break at the weakest point, which can cause a bag to sort of pull to one side or even over on top of itself, and it can cause the lead to even flip. So really important, make sure you put that hole in there. And at that point in time as well, you can add some sort of liquid goo or whatever it is you want to put into your bags if you choose to do so. I like to make about half a dozen of these up at home, and then what I do is I wrap the leaders around the bags, and I put them in a little PVA pouch with the rest of my pellet and crumb, and then when I get to the lake I'm ready to go. If I see any showing fish, I can literally just tie one of them on and straight out into the lake. One last little tip as well, so I always carry a bag of the Baitworks krill powder with me. I do this because one, it's really fine and dry, and whenever I've cast a rig out into the lake, if I reel it in, it's going to be wet, so you then have to dry the rig out. Traditionally I used to do it with a towel, but I found by dipping it in a bag of this krill powder, dries out super quick, the rig, the lead, the leader, everything, and you then don't have any worries with bags melting midway through tying them, or even once you've tied them before you even cast them out. So yeah, little tip for you. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you picked up some tips and tricks on my solid bag insights, and hopefully see you on the bank soon. And don't forget to like and subscribe and check out other content on the YouTube channel.